Hey everyone, Corey with Legacy Chess. Today we'll be talking about knights and where to place them. This is a good game for the students that have just learned how to move the knights. I know that can be the most difficult piece to learn because it changes directions, and every move it makes, it jumps onto a different color. But once you've gotten past that stage and they got a good handle on it, or maybe you've just introduced it and you want them to kind of practice figuring out where the piece moves, this would be a good exercise to play with. So you want to kind of teach them starting with the corner. And you want to kind of ask, okay, where can the knight move here? And they will let you know by, you can say, you can put a pawn wherever the knight can move. So for example, I'm going to put a pawn here and here. And you ask, how many spaces can the knight move? And they will count 2. Okay, so that's from the corner. So it says take these pawns off, take the knight off. All right, so what if I put the knight on the side of the board? How many squares can the knight move? Ask them to take a pawn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from the side of the board, the knight can actually move 4 squares versus the corner, which remember was 2 squares. So what does that mean? Well, if a knight's in the corner of the board, it means it's not as strong or it doesn't have as much mobility as it does in the side of the board. Now, in the game of chess, that still may occur where a knight gets forced to the side, or maybe there's an idea of putting him on the side, some kind of plan. But in general, you would rather be on the side of the board than the corner. All right, and then lastly, we take these pawns off the board. Might as well take the knight off too. You want to put the knight somewhere in the center. Doesn't particularly matter. It'll be the same outcome. And ask the same question. How many spaces can the knight move here? All right, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a grand total of 8. So the knight can move 8 different directions in the center of the board. So again, what does that say? Well, the knight's much stronger in the center than he is on the side, and much, much, much stronger than he is in the corner. So it's something to keep in mind when you're learning to play the game, when you're trying to develop strategies and trying to figure out where to put your pieces. It's a good golden rule for all levels of play, understanding where the knight is strongest and where his mobility lies. And we understand that in most games, starting out, the knight's probably not going to sit in the center of the board because he can easily get kicked away by another pawn or captured by another piece. But during the game, if you find an opportunity to place your knight in the center where he can't get kicked out, that'll be a very powerful piece. So it'll be much more powerful than he would be sitting in the corner where he's not really near the action. So that's a cool game to play with the kids. Give them a chance to kind of play around with the pieces, learning how to move the knights. I also like to mention, like I said earlier, that the knight actually is changing color every time he moves. So by that I mean you see he's on a white square here or a light square here, but every square that he can move to is a dark square. And it'd be the same thing if he was on a dark square. Every square he can move to from there would be a light square. Something to keep in mind. All right, that's it for me, Corey with Legacy Chess. I'll see you guys next time.